Today we have to discuss language skills. Everyone knows that language has four basic skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Listening and reading are called receptive skills, and speaking and writing are called creative skill. Creative skills are productive skills. Listening is first skill of language learning, and sometimes listening and speaking, they are introduced together as part of oral communication. As oral communication depends upon listening and speaking, and they occur simultaneously. One is speaking and one or others are listening, and as a skill, it can be introduced independently. When we say listening, it means ability to comprehend the message which has been shared by the speaker. And in spoken language, we are aware natural, spontaneous, colloquial, informal language is used. And this informal and colloquial language has bundles of phrasal verbs, slangs, and sometimes the personal coinage are mistakenly received expressions of language. यानी स्पीकर के पास हो सकता है कि ऐसे अल्फाज का जहीरा हो जो इनकोरेक्ट हैं, लेकिन उसके ख्याल में ये करेक्ट ही हैं और वो उनको यूज कर लेते हैं. नो speaker can be bound to speak a particular word in his informal language. In his formal setting, for example, in an professional organization or in an academic institution, he can be made liable or responsible for a specified and standardized expression. But in everyday language, no speaker can be bound. So listener is expected to pay attention and understand what actually speaker means. We can also recognize that speech is mostly fragmented. Speech is not like a written language and wholesome, organized language. It is spoken in parts, it is spoken in chunks, context is taken for granted, and there are body language, gestures, posture, which help to communicate the intentions and message of speaker. And listener, when deciphers the message, he uses all these things. We should also distinct hearing from listening. Hearing is simply recognition of sounds, whether they are organized or disorganized, meaningful or not meaningful. Everything that is heard, whether it's a noise or it's a meaningful utterance, that is called hearing. But listening gives conscious attention to whatever being said. So listening is conscious effort to understand the text, understand the speech, understand the message. Listening skills means a listener can recognize the characteristic English speech sounds and distinguish one sound from other sound, particularly similar sounds. Listener can understand the lexical meaning of words. Listener can understand the meaning conveyed by stress and intonation patterns. Listener can grasp the mood of the speaker. Listener can anticipate words and structure. Anticipation is also a requirement of good listening. A listener can guess the meaning of an unfamiliar word from the context. He should also be aware of how sounds work, mean independent sounds like consonant, vowels, semi-vowels, then consonant clusters, and diphthongs, mean two vowels are joined together. How words are stressed, how sentences are stressed, what does mean intonation, and how does intonation deprive a sound or word from its meaning or adds something to the meaning of the word or sound. So a teacher in classroom, when he teaches listening skill, he has to make the audience or learners, students able to comprehend English speech or unseen English speech using all these skills which I have just mentioned. Mean distinction and recognition of sounds from individual sounds to combined sounds, combination of words and utterances, and have access to the speaker's intention, speaker's mood, using setting, including the voice, intonation, stress of the speaker. So when we mentioned oral work is combination of both listening and speaking. I repeat, one, receptive skills, listening contributes for productive skill, speaking. Oral work in classroom is used to suggest new ideas, introduce new ideas, knowledge of arranging words properly, and develop the habit of speaking. And techniques of oral work include oral composition. Oral composition means how speech can be ordered. Picture description, completing story, dramatization, conversational activities mean dialogues, language games, material and techniques of conducting oral work. There are few techniques which help to conduct oral work. One is oral composition, is the first technique of conducting oral work. In this technique, teacher can take the simple objects, story, picture, or any incident, and he can take answer orally from student and can ask them to write on the board or book. So oral composition means students are asked to form a sentence using objects, pictures, or a given story. Second, teacher can present the picture of an object and ask them to read or look carefully the picture. The teacher can ask question on the basis of picture. You can say picture description or comprehension question on the basis of picture. Here, audience are given a chance to speak. Completing story is technique of conducting oral work. In this technique, teacher tells a story twice or thrice and asks student to repeat it again and again. Dramatization. In this work, teacher presents a role play, skit, brief drama that can help English oral work. The learners learn by acting, and acting is good technique of conducting oral work. Conversational activities like command and do exercise mean one command and other follow. For example, teacher commands and student follow, or then pairs are made or groups are made, and in one pair, for example, one partner commands and the other obeys, and it can be reversed, roles can be reversed, and both the partners can be given a chance to listen and speak. So command and do exercise, question and answer exercise. When one asks and other response, question answer style, that is also a useful activity. That's a conversational activity used in classes. Teacher orders to student and student follows it. That's an example of command and exercise. And question answer is teacher student. A teacher can ask question, student can answer, or student can ask, teacher can ask answer, or one student can ask question and other can reply. Language games develop the correct speech habit in students. Teacher divides students into groups and gives them to frame question and ask them to converse. Debates, talks, discussion, which are mostly thought better for advanced classes rather than earlier classes. Measures of developing correct speech habit. For a good speech habit, imitation method is used, phonetic method is used. Imitation means see and follow. Here perception, it moves from perception to imitation, then feedback, then drill, and drill can be individual drill or it can be pair or group drill. The drill is for the sake of repetition, and repetition actually reinforces the art of speech. In phonetic method, there are 5 steps: recognition of various speech sounds, making of those sounds by students, learning those sounds in usage of sound, learn to pronounce the complete sequence rapidly, and practice of producing correct sound. third one that is called subsidiary method. Here, singing songs in chorus as well as individually, reciting poems, analyzing long and difficult words, debating, dramatizing, conversing. So we can say these are uh, those techniques in which language learning is implicit or indirectly focused. And here, larger text like songs, poems, uh, dialogues for role playing or drama, debates, discussion, they are used. A challenge in classroom is develop correct speech habit. Correct speech habit actually has issues of exact and accurate pronunciation, manner of articulation, and understanding of assimilation of sound, focus on stress, focus on mood of the speaker. For cultivating good speech habit, enough attention should be paid to pronunciation because it is the root to a good speech. Teacher must be acquainted with the fundamental of English pronunciation. There are few causes of incorrect speech. Less attention is paid on speech training in schools, so it causes faulty pronunciation, wrong pronunciation. When teacher teaches in class, he does not care about the pronunciation of himself and student. That also spoils pronunciation during teaching. Teacher commits faulty pronunciation, so students follow the teacher and they also learn the faulty pronunciation. Teacher has no knowledge of speech sound, so every language has its own sound. There is difference in sound of English and Urdu, so it destroys if teacher has no knowledge of these sounds. Regional effect on the speech mean or accent or practice of vocal cord, they also affect our accuracy. Retroactive inhibition, physical disability can be of individual candidate, lack of knowledge of intonation and stress, that is also the problem. Clipping of the sounds, I mean when sounds are merged or imitation method, phonetic method and subsidiary methods are used for effective habit of good speech. Imitation method means teachers pronunciation should be good and correct and it should be imitated by students. So here burden is on teacher that he should ensure the accurate pronunciation and should keep in mind that learners, students, they will imitate him. So he should not cause faulty pronunciation of student. He should, this method has a focus on 4 steps: perception, imitation, feedback, and drill. Perception mean teacher writes the words or sentences on the board and gives model pronunciation among the students. Students follow the pronunciation, words or sentence. So in this way, something new is taught. Afterwards, training of the ear is an important means of mental development by following the principle of imitation. Students carefully attend to the 2 process of listening and imitation. सुन लिया है, अब उन्होंने उसको copy करना है, imitate करना है. Teacher pronounces the words and student try to pronounce the word clearly and exactly like the teacher. But pronunciation of teacher must be standard, correct, and it should be RP, that is called received pronunciation. Feedback. Teacher asks the students to pronounce the words, and if he finds that pronunciation is not correct, he tells them correct or exact pronunciation. Mean if there is any discrepancy, teacher can rectify it through active feedback. So perception, introduction of sound, introduction of new pronunciation, and then imitation. Students will imitate, students will produce. If there is a wrong pronunciation, teacher will correct it through his feedback, and afterwards they can be assigned drill, particularly those who couldn't produce the exact sound in feedback, in imitation. So drill can be individual or it can be pair or group. Second method of learning is phonetic method. Phonetic is science of sounds and used in speech. The teacher tells the correct pronunciation to student by giving the knowledge of English phonetics. Mean instead of using alphabet, he tries to give them IPA, mean chart of English phonetic. Recognition of various speech sound, correcting the English language. Making of these sounds by student, learning these sound in usage of sound attribute. I mean, they should be part of not independent sound, but as part of the word or utterance. Learn to pronounce the complete sequence rapidly and to each sound of sequence or to text. In phonetic method, practice of producing correct sound is very important. These days, we know that phonetic signs, phonetic symbols are also used to teach better pronunciation that has been printed even in textbooks, available in standard dictionary like Oxford Advanced Learner or Cambridge Advanced Learner or Chambers Dictionary, Collins Dictionary. We see that there are a word and then phonetic description, that is mean sound, how they are symbolized or denotated, that description is provided. And they expect that similar should be taught to students. Instead of teaching 24 alphabet, 26 alphabet, they should be taught 44 phonetic sounds. Last method is subsidiary method. In addition to the above, there are various other methods that can be used to teach pronunciation and words. They are singing songs, reciting poems, analyzing long, difficult words, debating, dramatizing, conversing. So here focus is impart language and its fluency through indirect method. There are two definitions of extensive listening and intensive listening. Extensive listening activities use material which is longer and easier. Detailed tasks are not set through the teacher, may indicate broadly what to listen for in task. Extensive listening gives students general practice, increases their exposure to the language, and they are able to enjoy it. We can say it can begin with jokes, or it can gradually move towards radio plays, audio clips, then radio plays, and at advanced level, the films. Intensive listening provides the student with a model of language for imitation. Students listen to fairly short text and carry out specific tasks set by the teacher, such as answering questions or making some kind of non-verbal response. So extensive is for the sake of practice mostly, and intensive is more target oriented, and it should be rechecked through some sort of assessment or examination. Listening comprehension demands goal of listening, active participation of learner, recollection or retrieving the previous knowledge, previous information. Mean memory should be trained, memory should be sharpened for better listening. Listening comprehension should be taught, it should not be tested. Mean more focus should be on practice rather than, you can say, right and wrong and true and false, that type of activity. So I stop at this point.